Welcome to We Speak Tangent podcast, where we talk to neurodivergent entrepreneurs. Hello folks, welcome to this week's edition of We Speak Tangent. I'm Michael.
I'm Kat.
And I'm Amelia.
And this week we are talking about, of all things, dopamine.
And chasing it. And getting it and keeping it.
So,
Like a Pokemon ball.
Gotta catch them all.
Oh, you'll make me start doing comedy now.
That is dopamine though, because they laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love being funny.
Asking a chronically depressed person about dopamine. This will be a fun episode. No.
Chalkboard is also valid.
Yeah. We'll touch later.
So at the last episode, we did a wonderfully neurodivergent thing of defining the terms. So, Dr. McKay, could you please...
Mackay.
I'll just stop at doctor. Could you please define the terms used for dopamine?
Dopamine is a neurotransmitter.
This is my nodding.
Which is produced in the brain and also in your digestive system, and which is part of your brain's reward system that makes you feel satisfied.
And typically, isn't it ADHD, you can't regulate your dopamine or something? I should know that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. For a minute, there was a big pause there.
So rather than use the term satisfied, I will just open by going, what makes you happy? What is the dopamine?
That's serotonin.
Oh no, okay.
Which it's
Is also part of the similar system.
But this is funny that you talk about gut, and I know I'm going to jump straight into this, but you talked about gut, and there's such a big link between what you eat and
actually most of the serotonin is made in your gut, not your brain.
Yeah.
So having a healthy gut makes you feel happy.
Brazil nuts contain selenium.
Yes.
And that helps your serotonin. 1 Brazil nut a day.
Welcome to Life on the Health Food Aisle.
Basically, you want to be sponsored by Holland & Barrett?
Yes.
Give us some free stuff.
You haven't lived until you've seen pensioners at Holland & Barrett just clinging to anything that will keep them
There's a lot
going.
of very good offers in Holland & Barrett. Love a Holland & Barrett.
There's a lot of good what?
Offers.
I don't know, I think it's so expensive.
Yeah, but they have their everything and anything.
Oh, they do.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyhow, basically Brazil nuts help with...
Also,
with
there's a
selenium
really
and
lovely
serotonin.
health food shop in Kelso.
There is, and I want to talk to James about that, because they do very good cheap spices.
They do proper spices.
And it's good stuff.
And you can blend them.
James, you're not here, but is he a health food person?
No, but James's premises are now in Kelso.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I
There
thought
was
you were...
logic. It wasn't just...
So if he wants to make curry at his new premises, he can get spices
Or
from there.
anything with a bay leaf,
Yeah, exactly.
Even boiling potatoes.
You can have your own bay tree as well.
Yeah, you know what I realised...
Which actually, growing things and
Yeah.
having plants, massive dopamine.
I'm
Massive
clinging to
dopamine.
this. So what? So
Sorry, we
dopamine.
just tangented very
Why am I here?
It's like one of those old
Anyhow.
roller coasters. We were on a track and then
If I blink too much, I'm just asking for help.
SOS.
it's Morse code, yeah.
They're away again. I can't, help me, Lord. Right, okay. So this one's about dopamine. We're
Yes.
4.5 minutes in, and I'm losing it a little bit. So what makes you happy, fulfilled? What is your dopamine release?
Well, I thought about it on the,
Thank you.
on the sense, I actually thought about it on the sense of sometimes we really struggle to do things.
Correct.
And it's like, it can be tax return, let's use that as an example, end of January.
You're just saying that because you've done it.
It
The
can be
last
stuff
day.
that you want to do as well, which is very frustrating.
But it's the tricking, this is what I think it should be. It's the how can you trick yourself into doing stuff by knowing actually this can be my reward system. And obviously we should be talking about this in a healthy way, not in a overusing of any substances, whether that be food or anything illegal.
Very good.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Or
Duty of
socially
care.
acceptable.
Yes.
In that.
Or socially, yeah.
Yeah.
But So that was basically what my thought process was. Because at the moment I'm trying to do stuff, and so I've got a sticker reward system. And I went to Sainsbury's.
I love a good
loads of
sticker
stickers.
system.
Well, I just thought as well, because we do a lot of, bear with me on this train of thought, but like we do a lot of stuff in life that relates to our childlike brain, and it's kind of, you're going through stuff trying to...
Yeah, you got to find your play.
You've gone.
You got to find your play.
Yeah, and as a kid, obviously loved stickers, would never use them, but I loved them. I was like, well, now I have adult money, let's just get some stickers and actually use them and give myself a sticker reward chart. But then we also was talking up there, and then
When you have enough money to eat,
Now we
and
have
then you
adult
have
money.
more money, you can then spend it on stationery. Stationery, massive dopamine.
I'm really sorry. What is your fascination
Also,
with
art
stationery?
supplies.
Oh, I am so excited.
This is an addiction all of its own. What is? I could just about understand the typewriter thing, but stationery.
Notebooks. You need a new
Notebooks.
notebook for everything.
I don't want to plug myself too much, but this is one of my
Oh,
own
yeah,
notebooks
Amelia
that
actually
I actually
makes
made, and this is
notebooks.
my artwork. But do you know what I get excited
I mean,
about?
look at that
Oh.
paper quality.
This is a really bad one because it was printed dodgy. That's why I've got it. I think I put chalk.
Do you not get excited?
But
Stationery.
yeah,
Oh,
like
man.
the whole. This is the only thing I do find weird. Obviously, now being in Scotland, obviously I'm from England. We
They do
would
use
go
paper
to-
here as well. Stationery.
But like September,
Yes.
back to school in September is what I was going to say. Is it was always like going into Canterbury and going to Smith's in Canterbury and getting loads of new
Smiths in
stationery
Canterbury.
supplies. Or a new pencil or gel pens.
Gel
Oh.
pens, smelly gel pens. Oh my
Smelly
god,
gel
they're
pens.
back.
Oh,
Smelly
they're
gel, no, they've only got the smelly markers. They're not as
Oh,
good.
Rachel has the smelly
They're not as
markers.
good. Gel pens. are better.
Rachel has an entire
Plethora.
a dopamine bag.
Yeah.
I mean, I seem to remember.
Everyone should have one.
No, but I mean, let's just put this out there. There was a time where we were at a very nice, collectively, we were at a very nice sort of stately place, and we had a meeting, and a kite was produced, and
Yeah.
bubbles, and I have no idea where from. This just
We
bag
ran around and
appeared,
played with the kite. It was great.
and I sat in the car and just went, "This is what am I
Made
doing with my
my
life?" Yes, yeah, it was marvelous. But
There was some danger with the power lines. which is
Yes.
why it didn't last as long as we would have liked it to.
I
yeah,
wasn't there, but I was on the meeting with Rachel beforehand that you
Yeah.
guys were doing it, so I feel
That was
slightly
good.
old.
I mean, Rachel is the sort of queen of these things.
But then this is I think this is also a really good tool to have. I know we have spoken on previous podcast because we recorded it about an hour ago, of having like the care
No, we recorded it
packages.
last week. Yes,
Sorry. But like having
We
these
just
care
went the same thing.
packages.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, people know.
Yeah.
People can
Hang
tell.
on
Sorry.
a minute.
yeah.
Having these care packages and stuff to, and also it's like the self care after
And
that,
hope
or-
boxes and crisis
Hope
kits
boxes,
and all of that.
But back to the stationery. What is it? Is it the
It's
new
the
pencil?
smell.
Oh, it's the smell.
Oh.
I think as
And
well,
it's
like
having it physically in your hand. It's
Nice.
having something that
it's new and shiny.
yeah, it lights you up, and it's a plan. It's got potential.
See,
It's the potential of it.
Yeah.
You could write anything in there.
Blank
You could write
canvas,
in it.
like-
You could draw in it. It could be your therapy journal. It could be anything.
Yeah.
I don't understand the stationery thing, but if you were to say headed paper with your name on it,
Well, exactly.
That's-
that is stationery.
that's-
Don't
that's closer
separate
to.
yourself from the stationery.
But no, but
It's
that's
like top tier. That
Yeah.
is the most dopamine.
Yeah.
Apart
you
from
know
a
what's even
laminator.
better?
What?
If you emboss your head.
Oh. My dad has a
Yeah.
big old embosser.
I've got one. So like when I teach Reiki and people get
Yeah.
certificates and then you emboss your
When they need to get the back right, they just sit.
bang. Yeah.
It's not that big. It's just a little one. It's got like a
No, I
little
mean, I-
seal and you put
Yeah.
your little gold thing and then you
Yeah,
stamp
my
it.
dad's got a big Victorian one.
Excellent.
I don't mind telling people one of the main reasons that I'm exploring this entrepreneurial thing is so that I could live in a world where it's this letter was
I do
from the
remember though,
offices of
the first
See,
time I
that's the
printed out
dopamine.
Yeah.
my headed business paper
Yeah.
and maize balls.
Yeah. It really does upset me, and not that I go to many hotels, but you don't get headed paper in hotels anymore.
budget cuts.
Oh, it depends
Well,
on
Depends on the
which
hotel.
Technology.
Not in
Travelodge.
yeah, like,
Not in the ones that we're going
you
to.
do in nice ones,
Yeah.
or you did
Yeah,
when I
fair
went
play.
to them, which was fair enough 10 years ago now.
Yeah,
But no, we used to go to hotels that had headed paper.
I just see that, but then that is the dopamine, isn't it? It's the Oh, especially
Also,
if it's GSM
branded Post-its.
Branded
Branded
Post-its.
anything, I think.
Yeah, to be fair.
I mean, let's widen the scope. Anything with my name on it, I'm entitled to go, I quite like that.
That's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think the only, this is going to make me sound proper sort of ND here, but when I get a new car, I'm,
See, dopamine. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously that's quite an expensive thing to.
no, it is. And
Like, you don't want to get stationary
But-
and then new car.
Well, no. But full
But,
disclosure, I lease my car, so thank you, Motability. But every 3 years, like
Yeah.
the one sort of, well, I say every 3 years. I've had mine for 3 and a bit now, so
So soon.
soonish. But for me, it's the day of, and some people get the bus, and that's fine. But yeah, for me, it's going into the car dealership
Is
and
it-
going,
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
that one in that colour, and then, oh, yes, I can spend an entire day just getting very happy.
I've never been that rich.
Oh, I'm not.
I, however, have that new phone day.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
But do you know, I'm a little bit less, I'm a bit more disappointed in it nowadays because phones all do the same. Whereas, you not remember back in the Nokia 3310 to Sony Ericsson days when you got
Oh yeah,
a
there
new
was
phone,
a big jump. Yeah. But
Like,
I mean,
this could take
that's a bit like
photos.
when you realise you could like burn CDs.
The
Like,
first
I remember
roll,
that
yes,
being
yeah.
so exciting.
Yeah.
So
Because it's
exciting.
like, yeah, this is stuck on this one CD that we all have to share and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
time share when you can listen to which music, and then
Yeah.
it's like, no,
I
on my
would
computer, I have it
get-
all the time.
Do you not remember the stack of CDs? You can get them in Asda for like a tenner and you can get like 100 CDs. And I would burn
Yeah.
CDs for my friends all the time, mainly including Monty Python
And
songs,
only
actually.
legally, obviously.
Oh yeah, it wasn't online wire. Yeah, but I think maybe it's like the potential as well of that. The potential of the,
the
new car, it's the
potentiality,
potential
yeah.
of like
But yeah,
it's all new and shiny, and you're creating the new
but
memories with it.
I like to be a little bit extra with these things. So if I was to say to
Only
you...
the car is enough.
Well, no, but the car. But I mean, I would also say to you the first rose gold iPhone in De Vries and Galloway. Like it's weird. Yeah, I like.
Yeah.
I get very.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
appreciate there's a cost of living crisis, etc., etc., etc. I'm fully
Yeah.
But when it comes to actual dopamine hits.
And
think
also isn't
that's-
that kind of the point? Like you have
Yeah.
to feel like your life is worth living,
Yeah,
and hopefully
100%.
like it's fun.
and also as
And
well,
So
Sorry.
you get to choose which things
Yeah.
do that.
but also as well, for me, I have a list. You saw it earlier, actually, of things that I want to buy, because
Yeah.
sometimes I think it's good to. Otherwise, I'd buy everything.
Yeah.
Calm down a little bit.
Which things do you buy now? Which things do you buy later?
Yeah, and also if I'm still interested in it as well, because there's things that I've written on the list, I'm like, why do I want to buy that?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not that bothered
okay.
anymore. Yeah.
But it is that thing of, okay, well, I'll save up to buy that, or I don't eat takeaways, I don't really go out, I don't drink, so there's the balance, isn't it? And you say that you don't smoke, you don't really drink, so
I don't.
if that iPhone is the equivalent of you,
But no, but here's
But
here's the
also,
thing. Yeah,
rare My Little Ponies.
yeah, you've completely lost me as a human
and me
being.
as well, because yeah.
And the Plushy Dreadfuls. Love a Plushy Dreadful.
But I sort of, I'll never
Jellycat
understand
version
it.
of
I'll never understand it. But if these things have collectible value, then I get it from a sort of, if you don't like it anymore, you can...
But
Yeah,
maybe
but
that
also
is-
like I wouldn't just get one because it's rare. It has to be a rare one that I like.
It's like the Beanie Baby thing.
Oh, Kirsty had so
Yeah.
many Beanie Babies.
I love.
Oh no,
Beanie Babies.
TY.
TY make Beanie Babies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can just picture the heart on the
Yeah.
ears. Yeah. But do you not think is it not? I don't know if you want to say that. Is it a
We'll
thing-
edit it out to just one, is it?
Is it a
Okay, but
thing
come on now. Yeah.
of collecting? Collecting's a neurodivergent trait.
Yes. Sort of.
I wouldn't say it's
But it
collecting.
has to be stuff that I like. It's like
It's
so.
obsessive collecting.
Sometimes it's obsessive
I could-
collecting. When
Yes.
I was little, I collected Smarty Tops
Mhm.
because the Smarty Tops used to have letters on, and But then it was about getting the set. So I wanted like the full alphabet
Smarty tops.
in each of the colours.
Do you not
Yeah.
remember when it was
like a lid on
cardboard
a tube?
and you could
Used to get
jump
Smarties
on
in a
it and
tube in it.
Yeah, no, I yes. And then you used to collect the lid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Go
is
on.
my
Different
understanding
colours,
face. Right,
Different
okay.
letters.
Right.
Yeah.
Like now it's just a lid and it's like, yeah, whatever, you get all
And
the
they're
colours
not-
and you're done. And also, were they even
Separate.
different colours anymore?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
They're
but-
not. It's not. As
But anyway,
as
so
the
like you used to
90s.
get this, and it was about getting the full set of the alphabet in all of the
And-
colours, which
and
I
this
never
is-
did, but
yeah.
it was very
Oh.
satisfying to have an
Yeah.
aim.
And this is why, folks, you need to employ neurodivergent people, because then with the money that you pay us,
We'll spend it on Smarties.
we'll spend it on just random collectible item. We
Yeah.
won't leave ourselves enough money to live. Oh no.
No.
Like, why would you?
Yeah.
That
but
takes a lot of practice to balance us back out to something resembling financial responsibility.
Yeah.
what we need is a neurodivergent accountant. Yes,
Oh,
who
Refer
will?
to episode
Yes, ish.
something.
Kirsty's one.
Kirsty's
I can't remember
Kirsty's
what
one, yeah.
number was.
But
It's about 7.
I think that is part of the neurodivergent experience. Again, I could tell you when I was younger what I used to collect. So I used to collect model cars, but
Dinky or Corgi?
no. Big sort of
Oh,
model
the proper
things.
ones, yeah, okay.
And I never used to.
Like on a plinth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ah, the ones that you can't touch or get out of the box.
Yeah.
correct.
Dad had a Ferrari of that.
Yeah.
That was very nice.
And I used to, my parents tried to get me to play with others, and that just wasn't happening as a concept, because I just used to have a room. There was a time when we lived in the northeast in Redcar where I had a real mock-up shop.
Cool.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
No, but it was, I think it was
Tell
my
us all about it. I want it.
Oh, yeah. So but that wasn't it. That wasn't by design. That was we lived when we had money, so long ago. When we had money,
So many more surfaces in bigger
And-
houses. to
when
make
there was another
dioramas.
room. But yeah, in the back of our house, Mum and Dad obviously used to eat, and I didn't. But we used to save like cartons and wash them
Yeah.
out, and then put them on a shelf. And then I used to go through obsessive things. So tills was one of them.
Yes. Yeah.
And I had an actual proper
Nice.
thing till. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird.
Do we not all have that phase as a
Yeah,
kid?
I
Yeah.
had one of
Ellie-
those.
Yeah, I remember my friend Ellie having a
Little thing.
and
Yeah.
real shop things.
Yes. And I used to, when I was very young, go for like work experience before work experience. There is a shop in Anne that used to be called Extra Special. I think it's now
Oh,
called
yes.
Gifts
Yeah.
or something. It was.
That used to be my after the dentist treat we used to go to.
But I
Extra
literally,
special.
my only reason for going was to just be
They
part
had an
of the
amazing
team.
till though.
Yes, you
Their
see.
till was,
Was it
so,
like a big?
Yeah, it
Yes,
dinged.
yes,
A proper like
yeah,
Yeah.
proper
Loved
thing.
Typewriter. Page back.
Yeah, Tony and I can't remember.
The receipts.
I think it was Tony and
Oh.
Dave. Yeah. So I used to stand behind the counter and work for no
Yeah.
money,
Nice.
just for something to do.
Yeah.
So that and Blockbuster Video.
meanwhile,
Now it's fine.
Every morning was taking my my room was piles of books because the book shelves were made into stables.
Nothing has changed.
For my beautiful horses.
Yes.
And every morning I would take all their inside rugs off that I'd made myself, and then put their outside rugs on that I'd also made myself, and then put them onto a large piece of cardboard that I'd coloured in green, which was their field. And then every night I would do the reverse again,
Oh.
and I loved it.
See?
I preferred something that wasn't real. I was sort of Mr. Tamagotchi or with like the old Nintendo
Oh,
DSs
talk
where you used to
about
care for a
obsession,
dog.
The Tamagotchis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nintendogs. I love Nintendogs.
It's essentially, for those people under a certain age bracket, it's a dog that isn't a dog. It's a non-breathing computer animation dog.
But it was
Wonderful.
amazing. Also, New Pets.
Yes.
I have no
And the
idea.
games on New Pets, the snake on New Pets was the best game ever. I'm talk about dopamine. Hours of my life.
I have no idea. Was it on like?
I have no
PS?
idea.
Like-
I don't know what you're talking
No, it was on a website.
Yes.
Back
Oh.
when it was kind
That
of
long
like
ago.
kind of yeah.
Was it like Maripets? No, Maripets
It was
a
kind
website.
of like was it Club Penguin?
Have a hotel.
But before
Oh,
Club Penguin,
yes.
before Club Penguin
Have
happened.
a hotel. All right.
I remember how. Yeah,
Yes,
Club
uh-huh.
Penguin
No.
rings a bell.
No
Or
idea of that.
Herbs, Sims
Also,
in the City.
Sims. The Sims when it was new, and you
Yeah.
could just Google all of the passcodes.
Yeah.
Rosebud 86 was the passcode that gave you unlimited money. Amazeballs.
Rosebud. Orson
Yeah.
Welles.
I don't know.
Oh, trust Amelia to think of the
Citizen
actual
Kane,
like
that's what I said.
artistic thing, literature.
No
No.
idea.
Film.
But that
Film,
was the
yeah.
thing.
One thing I've got a degree
Rose,
in.
Yeah, yeah,
Rosebud
yeah.
86.
I'm gonna have to
Unlimited
Google
money.
that afterwards.
But yeah, I mean, but for me, it was utter escapism. Like I used to,
Yeah.
I used to have books on cars. Like my dad only ever, I say only ever, I only remember 2 or 3 books. One of them was an encyclopedia, which I think was Dad's way of going, "You want to be clever, son? Read this."
Yeah, we had the children's encyclopedia
Yes.
from the 50s, which took up 2 rows of
Yeah,
the
I
bookshelf.
bet,
It was
yeah.
amazing.
And my parents, when I went to boarding school, were impressed because the boarding school had an entire collection of Encyclopedia Britannica, and it was all
Yeah,
like
that's where this
chronicles
was.
and but yeah, I mean, my dad,
Old books.
yeah, old
Oh
books,
my god, the dopamine.
Smell.
Auto
Oh.
Trader. I mean,
Yeah.
Don't get me the
I
amount
mean,
of water trays and
yeah.
classic
Haynes
cars.
manual.
yes, absolutely,
Love
yeah.
it.
Still got
So
mine for my polo, my bread van.
We had a mini one.
God,
whereas
that's
now,
nice.
instead of, have you ever tried to get the book to the actual car dealership and go, "I know what's wrong with my car, read this"?
Yeah.
But it's all
Yes,
things.
they don't like it.
No, they hate it. which is why I send my assistant. But no, I mean, so all these things are, I think, it's escapism. It's escapism from
Yeah.
whatever life we're going through or living.
But
But
also build that into your life, and then you don't need to escape anymore because
Yeah.
it is your life.
Because I think as well, like it can be, for me, I find so much dopamine from music and listening to music and singing as
Yeah,
well.
totally.
yeah,
That if I don't like in it, and this goes on like a daily thing of, I know I need to, like, in the morning I'm fine, I can work, and then as soon as it gets the afternoon, I just drop and I need a nap. But in order to,
what time are we at? Are you
like,
okay?
yeah, today actually I have been, but I've not really been eating sugar.
Oh.
And so probably tomorrow I'm going to really crash from my
Yeah.
sweeties. But I in the afternoon, to get myself doing stuff, will put on music, and it will be emo, rock music, new metal from the noughties, and it will, because I know the lyrics,
Yeah,
I sing it,
100%.
the dopamine's released.
You have to breathe properly when you're singing.
I mean, I'm
Calms your
not a
nervous
professional,
system.
but also I do sing System of a Down quite a lot, and Serge Tankian is opera trained, so in order to
Yeah.
sing his music, even not to the same level, you probably do need to
Breathe.
do a certain amount of that.
I should be far more engaged in this music chat, but I'm just like, I
Do you not listen recreationally?
I know, no, just professionally.
Only when I'm paid.
No, but in all fairness, like I probably listen to. I always say to people whenever I'm doing sort of music on ice discos, or whenever I'm doing club DJ sets, I always make a point. Well, I say always make a point. For me, ice discos are radio shows, so it's me saying, originally I would just write a joke about the artist and then say it, but now I always say it like it's a request show, because if you sort of were here and you listened to the music that I'm into, you would not be here. So it is. I mean, because my music taste goes back, and but it's that thing of for me, Last FM was a wonderful invention.
What's
Because
Last FM?
right, it's
Oh, the set list thing. No.
well, essentially, it would
Sorry.
take a track that you like,
Yeah.
and well, it's essentially now shuffle
Spotify
or
does it now.
Spotify, but originally it was Last FM. So you could start with one track, and it would take you in a completely different direction.
Yeah.
Whereas now, obviously, as Kat's just said, it's all automated. So your Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you get your music will actually tell you.
Yeah.
But it was about
Suggest songs,
finding the
yeah.
things.
This is why I reverted to vinyl and CD, and obviously, like, this is a.
I've
I've been
yet
collecting.
to get into the vinyl.
I love finding music through other people.
Yeah.
Like, I love when you're with people that you love,
Mm.
and then they have a thing, and that some of their music is like, oh, that really speaks to my
Yeah.
soul, and then that music is always about them, and that's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, it's like another layer to it, isn't it?
I don't sing as much now. I used to sing semi-professionally, and
Did you?
I just sort of left it as it had its time and moment.
Yeah.
And I get mortally offended at karaoke. And just like, if you're not in any way good, why are you there?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think I would find it fun.
I know.
See, I remember when
yeah.
karaoke kind of became cool.
Mm.
And
SingStar.
everyone, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, no, pre-SingStar.
Pre-SingStar.
Pre-SingStar. I think like Tommy or someone brought out like a little mini karaoke machine,
Mm.
and then everyone was into it for a while.
Yeah.
And then it started being in pubs because it didn't used to be in pubs,
Yeah.
and then it started kind of being a thing. So every party that you went to, it'd be like, oh, we've got a karaoke machine for Christmas. All going to do the karaoke. And then, Angels, and I used to sing the instrumental bit. Like, it's not about being good. It's about enjoying singing.
I always thought this. I would probably sing REM. It's the end of the world as we know it, because it's not. It's not a sing song, but it's quite a fast paced.
If you could remember all of the lyrics and keep time with it, that is an ND thing all of its
that
own.
I can,
Yeah.
because that's for me as is the satisfying thing. It's the
It's like,
the
Linkin
lyrics.
Park, I used to know all the words.
Yeah.
But like that when you sing in and you know
Everything.
every word. There's a band called Lifehouse, which I love. Both of the quotes, which I want as tattoos, are Lifehouse quotes. I've seen them twice. And like there's something about a concert that you go to. Aged myself by calling it a concert. But,
I still call it a concert.
but anyway, a musical event.
It's music hall.
The full 3 hours, you know every word to every song, and it's fantastic. Also, Brad Paisley at the O2. Several different, beautiful Paisley guitars. Oh.
I wouldn't have put you at Brad Paisley.
I love it. I had a lot of Brad Paisley songs at my wedding.
Wow. Okay, nice.
And every single song knew all of the words. Loved it.
So satisfying.
He loved it as well. He was like, people in America don't know all the words to all those songs, even the obscure songs. You guys do it.
This is what I find really interesting, because I've seen the Arctic Monkeys a fair few times now, probably 7 times. But we went to a gig in Glasgow a couple of years back, me and my friend, and everyone was singing. And I've been to like the Royal Albert Hall and seen them. I've seen them across London and like the O2 and stuff. But like everyone was singing like all of the lyrics to all the songs in unison. And I wonder whether we're, because in school
there's
we
an
sing...
energetic thing about it.
Yeah. And like it is
everyone
like...
being engaged and tuned into one thing at once is amazing.
It's
my best
so
experience
cool.
of that was like Roxette at Wembley. And
Yes.
they had, again, everyone knew every single song, and like they had like beach balls that came from the ceiling and like confetti. Yeah. And everyone was like playing keepy uppy with the beach balls and like singing. It was just connection.
And if it is that, like that singing and dancing is such like a natural rhythmic thing.
And also
that
the rhythm soothes your nervous system. Like it naturally kind of brings you back, and it makes you breathe properly.
I mean, I think any sort of dopamine has the power to escape, but there has been times where it's been somebody else's dopamine. What
do you mean?
So I remember, and I haven't told this story publicly.
Dopamine vampire.
I know, I just,
Well, it's true. Sometimes it's amazing to give that to other people, and that in itself is satisfying.
So I was going through a
joy
sort
to
of
others.
a rock phase at boarding school, and it was a phase really, because the best of times.
Shame.
I know, yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
But there was no. It genuinely was, and a situation presented itself where my family, I think it was my mum, got me tickets to go and see Deep Purple. But Thin Lizzy what was left of Thin Lizzy was the opening act. And nobody would, I said nobody would go with me, but a situation presented itself where it was the SE, wasn't the SEC, it was the armadillo, like the smaller ish thing. And it was myself and my head teacher.
Wow, cool.
And the groundsman offered to buy the head teacher's ticket. And the head teacher was like, absolutely not, we're not doing that. So, yeah, music has and it was one of the best memories. And I still wasn't well by that point, but it was that thing of being able to go to
it's kind of
a
transcendental,
concert
isn't it?
venue. And you're right, as soon as, Smoke on the Water happened, everybody just went.
As well, Boys Are Back in Town, Thin Lizzy.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Skunk Anansi, like singing as crowd surfing. Yes. That's stunning.
This is like I think as well.
O2 Academy Brixton. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful moment.
That's an iconic venue.
It's a good venue,
It's a
man.
really good. Like that's just such a nice closed venue, like
And the
small,
sloped
intimate.
floor. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can see
you can see
everything.
everything.
It's beautiful.
I saw Bears Den there and Weezer and him and Lost Profits. Probably.
Oh, Lost Profits.
Yeah, let's speak about
See,
that.
I just go and see icons. I don't think
Oh,
I've ever
sorry.
No, I don't think I've ever went to see a modern band at all.
Snow
Really?
Patrol,
Ever?
really good.
Sing Guns
in
N' Roses,
concert.
they're pretty good.
Snow Patrol.
Are they still about?
Don't know.
Oh.
I went to see them when their album came out in 2011.
If you're a member of Snow
Amazing.
Patrol, we apologise on reserve.
Sorry.
Please get in touch. You're probably still around.
I think they did have
I think
new
they did have a new
music.
album. I'm sure I Spotify'd a new album.
I'm
recently.
pretty sure they did.
But
yeah.
I mean,
But this is like, there is something I remember as a kid writing down the lyrics to songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to always bring it back to British comedy, but we had a cassette of Morecambe and Wise, and there's a song in it, and it's like, I'll be there following you around.
Yeah.
And I found the sheet the other day, my mum's
Oh,
got
cool.
it down the road, like, of me writing down the lyrics, and that was me listening to the cassette tape. So then
Yes.
when Dad
But
took
then
me to
that's
school,
like you
I could
used to
sing it.
know like all of the lyrics to everything because you would be there every Sunday recording it onto a cassette from the radio.
Yeah.
my
yeah,
dad
So
still misses
You'd
those
have
days.
to listen to it
I mean,
repeatedly.
Yeah. It honestly, but then it's the cassette, and this goes back to vinyl and CD even better. There's an action in it that brings out the dopamine even more, and I think as well,
it's the ritual of it.
This might sound weird,
No, I don't think it will.
but go with it.
I think we've passed that
Yes, we've passed that.
in
Yeah.
this conversation. It's fine.
It's the texture
Of a
of
cassette.
things. It's and like the texture
Oh, of everything.
vinyl,
Yeah, totally. I'm with
the
you.
sleeve, the actual vinyl itself, the putting it onto the fidelity that I have, like, and it's as opposed to it just being button.
Whereas I just
Yeah.
go click.
Yeah,
done.
click, done. What is
Yeah.
that? It is that ritual, but it's also the tangible texture of things
Yeah.
that
It's like having a book instead of Kindle.
100%, or like, seeing a painting as opposed to it being a digital
Although I
painting.
have been guilty of tapping books.
I have as well because of,
And also
Sometimes.
trying to turn pages on Kindles.
So
My
why
brain
why
isn't
hasn't there been a dopamine business by somebody who is neurodivergent?
You could argue that.
Yes.
Nidos.
Yes.
World
Well,
by
everything
storm.
is like, if you think about marketing, everything's sold to us on dopamine.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Oh, this will make it easier for you. You have more time. This is sweet chocolate. Get.
This will make your life good.
This will
Yeah.
make your life better. It's that we're always, as humans, neurodivergent.
Yeah, the
not
whole of advertising
chasing
is.
that dopamine, that experience, and that like, I need to make my life better in some kind of weird way, and actually, this is going to solve all my problems.
So you're talking about a pill, sort of paracetamol-esque.
Yeah.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
but I mean, to ask a sort of James-related question, because James isn't here, what would you, if you're in a wonderful sort of older person's establishment when you're 85, 90, and you're going, I remember the best part of my life, dopamine-wise, what would you hand down? Would it be music, or would it be... I mean, what would...
Do you need a moment? Because I know.
do. Okay, yeah, you can
So,
go. Put this down.
Put the needle down.
Let's start this.
Get the Worders originals out. Here we go. All right.
so galloping
Okay, yeah.
on a horse
Mhm.
in the sunshine near the end of the day, that beautiful
Dusk.
golden light.
Golden.
Light at that time of year, on a horse that you trust, that you know, with your arms out.
Oh, yeah. I can only imagine. Yeah.
Why are your arms out?
Because it's like
Freeing.
flying.
It's
It's
like
amazing.
having like your legs out on a bicycle.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
Sorry.
I don't know.
And it's like this wild moment of connection
Yeah.
and
Nature as well.
and like the sound
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
like the feedback of balancing with them
Yeah. In tune.
and the sound of their hooves and the wind on your face.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
really, like, I think as well, like to bring it onto things that you don't have to spend money on. Nature releases
really?
so much dopamine.
Yeah, totally.
Like
the connection and like just walking with the dogs. Like if I walk with the dogs, that's my kind of thing. And like they're so playful. Like I just laugh the whole
But
time.
even the little woodland that we went to in
Yeah.
Jedburgh, the moss
love
on
that
the
woodland.
trees,
Yeah,
like, the
moss.
greenery.
See moss on fence posts. When you have one of those little
Yeah.
moss worlds,
Yeah.
and then there's a little bit of lichen.
Yeah.
Love that.
Absolutely. Like, and there's a really nice waterfall, Hindhope Lynn, in just outside the Kilt, on like the edge of the Kilda drive
Mm-hmm.
in Northumberland,
Yeah.
about 40 minutes away from where we are in the borders. And it's not a massive walk. It's probably about 2 miles to the waterfall and back again. And you're just in a little world, and it's just green and nature and the sound of the water. And it must be
Or
some
can I have
energy.
2?
Yeah, go.
Have as many as you
So,
want. It was just a leading question. I don't know.
So the Grey Mare's Tail.
Yes.
Yeah.
You walk up the Grey Mare's Tail. Have you been up?
Not all the way up
To the
because I'm a
top.
bit scared of heights.
I'll have to take you. I did take one friend who was fine on the way up, and then realised that having the drop on their right was really
Weird.
scary.
I'll
So
be
it's hard
fine
to
on the
come
way down, but not on the way up.
Okay.
Yeah, the dopamine will fit better.
We can all go together. But so you walk up the waterfall, and then you walk kind of less steeply up along the stream, and then at the top there's a loch. Loch Skeen's beautiful, lovely for swimming. But you come round a corner, so you're just following this little stream.
Yeah.
It's lovely, and then you come around the corner. It's like you get no warning. It's just like boom, loch right in front of you, and there's like hills. There's hills on each side, and then just right in
Stunning.
front of you. Amazing.
And it just like
And that
that's
moment I cannot get enough of.
Yeah, and it goes back to as well like the light and the golden hour of that feeling of when it is summer, and then like it's almost like the apricity, but
Just
not in,
something that's
winter
so
and summer.
beautiful that it catches your breath.
Yeah, I think that's the energy of that though, isn't
Yeah.
it? In nature, maybe more so than, but the energy then translates to dopamine.
I mean, I've yet to. If Rachel or anybody in my family sees this, I've yet to embrace the joy of anything outdoorsy. I mean, the last
you
walk
can
that.
just look at it.
Well, yes, but I mean, everybody's dragging me out. I mean, the last walk that
There
we
are some
went
things
on.
that you can't see from where cars are.
The last walk that the last walk that ended up being a meeting that we went on,
That was very muddy.
I wore completely the wrong thing. I wore the pale blue shirt and the slacks, and then I saw everybody in like sort of outdoor trousers and
Willies,
hiking boots.
What was that?
Hairstones.
Yeah, and it was muddy.
In
There
the
was no. Well, I'm sure there was wheelchair accessible bits, but they were all covered. And it was
You made it.
just as
It wasn't like
it was probably
like,
the end of the
pleasantly
day.
accessible.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've yet to. I mean, I'm sure I will. You know, I have said before that when I hit 40, it probably will be olives and outdoors.
I
and,
love olives.
You know, that thing. It just
See a
hasn't.
good garlic olive.
See, I'm just
Yes.
happy with like a black olive. Just like a nice little.
But I mean, food is. I mean, for somebody with food issues, now food is my go-to,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be like overly sweet things.
What is it?
Cooking.
What would you say?
I love cooking.
I am learning to cook, and it's not exactly my
It's the chemist in me.
idea
And
of the
it's like
time.
you were saying,
Mixture.
it's the potential.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like I love it when you're doing a thing and you're like, oh, I could just add a bit of that.
A little bit of
Yeah. And then you create something
snaz.
that's new. And
I'm just
yeah,
at bread
nice.
stage, I think. I'm just like, oh, I've got a nice loaf of bread. I'm
Oh,
getting
I
old.
miss
nice
bread.
sourdough.
I'm just getting old.
I miss
That's
This is
bread.
it though. But then this is the joys
Nice
in
cup
the
of tea.
everyday.
Some
Honestly,
Yeah.
sport. I just,
that half of it is my treat of like, okay, it's that kind of very British thing, isn't it, or English thing? Like, I'm going to put the kettle on.
Tea, yeah.
Tea. That's the treat.
Oh,
That's
coffee. You know, just
But
Just
also, it's
tea,
amazing
sugar.
what gets ingrained. It's like I remember when I was a teenager, I was riding a pony, and he like spooked at a car and fell over backwards.
the pony.
The pony.
Got it.
Well, and
Okay.
I was on the pony, obviously.
Yeah.
And then
Were you
we were
hurt?
both lying on the ground, and then we were not. I was not on the pony anymore. Not really, just bruised and that.
Just slightly crushed to death, but
I know.
it's only a pony.
Not as
isn't it?
much as the other time that happened. But anyway, no. But I was scared, right? And
Yeah.
and he was very scared. So I was.
He got rid of the one thing.
Which
he was
is the total thing about
petrified.
managing. I mean, that's
Yeah.
why horses are so good for managing your energy, because like
Yeah.
if they're like
If
way
we're
out
both on
of
the
their
floor,
window, yeah,
if
exactly.
we're both on the floor, I'm not
You have
thinking
to
the
be
horse
there
is very
going,
good. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you are going to walk with me, and
Yeah.
we are going to walk home,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're not going to go away. And then so we got home, and I sorted him out. And then I went in the house, and like immediately my head was just like, right, I need a tea with some sugar and some
Yeah.
brandy in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, when else would you
Yeah.
do that?
100%.
Yeah.
When else would you
Yeah.
do that? But it was just like probably like old pony books from the 50s.
Yeah.
But like just was in my head, and I was like, right, okay, and then you're like, right now I'm okay.
The brandy goes to you, not the horse.
Just
Yeah.
Okay, just
He's
checking.
not a racehorse.
Oh, okay.
A lot of racehorses used to get given brandy.
really, did they?
Yeah, beer and brandy.
Beer
and
and brandy. That's a bit of a mixer, isn't it?
I would run pretty quick on beer and brandy.
I don't think I'd run in a straight line.
No.
That's old-fashioned feeding for you. Pony Club Manual of 1970.
That's crazy, because then it's like that nowadays would cost you an arm and a leg to feed. I mean, not that you would feed a horse beer and brandy, but that would cost an arm and a leg. Whereas, oh no, just do it on Sundays, like whatever. Cheap as chips.
No, yeah, I think there are many. I mean, but dopamine has many different forms.
I think creating in general, though.
If it
just
goes well,
creating.
yeah.
No, we can go on about
Yeah.
I could probably talk about the creating and dopamine for ages.
Please do, because at this point I've got a horse on brandy,
It's-
and I need to move on from this image.
It is. There's a beautiful thing, I think, with dopamine being released when you do create things. You're letting yourself be creative, because we grow up and we're taught to, like, you know, everyone has art lessons in school. Whether you're good at it or not
Yeah.
is a different thing.
Oh, and they let you know if they think you're not.
Exactly. When there's
That's the
rules
problem,
that you're not,
yes.
you know, fitting to.
Yeah.
Is different. But like when we're adults, it's almost like going back to the self-care thing. You need to create, and even if you're not an artist or a musician or anything, we naturally are creating things.
Yeah, it's
every day.
like cooking is
Bad
creating.
atmospheres. Hello.
Like bringing a plant to a healthier plant. That's creating.
Yeah. And then the dopamine of like it is a journey, and you're constantly creating, and you like the cooking. Okay, let's try a bit more salt. Let's try a bit of bay leaf. Let's try a little bit of like X, Y, Z.
Yeah,
whatever.
you kind of learn what you like.
Yeah, you
And then
chop
that's getting
change.
to know yourself better as well, and that's really
100%.
cool too.
Yeah, and the dopamine that you can get from that, and especially if you do, I try and do a thing. Did we talk about morning pages? No, it was last
little bit,
episode.
Yes.
I love sharing cooking with people as well. Like I love cooking for people and seeing their
Yeah.
enjoyment.
I have done it professionally, and
Oh,
so
of course, Amelia's done it professionally.
I've lost the will to live. No, I haven't. It's I think because like when I was at Waitrose, like I cooked for I was like a dinner lady, but I actually cooked. It wasn't just
Yeah,
oven
I
stuff.
think there's a difference though between that and like a kind of family cooking for kind
Yeah.
of situation.
Yeah, maybe. I've always had like I don't know.
Although I
because-
was always very satisfied on grilling McDonald's because it was hard.
Yeah, because it's like then that's satisfying. Because it's like if you're managing to juggle a few things at once, which is kind of what cooking is.
Yeah.
And you've got to remember, right? Okay, oven 10 minutes, hob 10 minutes, kettle boiling 2 minutes, whatever. That's then super dopamine for if you manage to juggle all the balls at once.
Yeah.
It
Because it's like
really-
lots of short tasks and you can be
Yeah.
like, yeah, done.
But
done,
you're,
done.
you're assuming that the
Love it.
patience will, that the patience will out at this point. Because
And
I'm
then if
learning
it's
with
not-
what I'm trying to do. I'm just like, I want it finished now.
What are you trying to?
I think that-
Anything.
I think it's interesting though, like, because I think having done chemistry, I don't know if that helps or if it's just something about how my brain works. Like, because it was really obvious when I was at my friend's house and we were cooking, and we both were looking at the same recipe. But like, I looked at the recipe and I was like, right, okay, step 1 can do that, can have step 2 going at the same time, and then they'll be ready, and then we'll do this. I can't be bothered putting that in the oven, but I could do it like this instead. And then whereas she was trying to do like step 1 and then step 2. And then that takes a long time.
Yeah,
like
that I
I'm
can't deal
impatient,
with.
but I think there's a level of like confidence that you have to have before you
Yeah,
can
the
just start
groundwork.
holding 4 or
yeah.
5 things in your head at once.
Dopamine has equal amounts of absurdity. Like, for somebody that didn't eat for a long time, I loved watching like cooking shows.
Did you?
There was something about, watching
Yeah.
a
The
cooking
creation.
show
Yeah.
in like
can't
super
stand it.
HD when HD came out.
no.
And going, oh, this is a real thing, and like
Yeah.
this is great. Would I? But it's only now that I'm actually, and it's let's be honest, it's not sort of high end Heston Blumenthal stuff. It's essentially how to make a pancake or how to do a
Yeah,
stir
yeah.
fry. But I
I
mean,
love making pancakes.
and it was on the edge of necessity. But I just, it's weird. But
Yeah.
and that's.
See, flipping a pancake.
Oh, so
That's
satisfying.
that's another one. Like that's way up there.
Yeah.
Like when I used to have pancake parties,
Yeah.
and if you make like you got like 30 people,
Yeah.
and you're just a good solid couple of hours of flipping pancakes,
those
and
people
you
paying?
make them all. It's like, oh yes, no, They did bring alcohol with them, which at the time was a good thing.
Give and take.
Gotcha.
Yeah, when we used to do it when I lived in a flat share in London, and we'd cook and all have dinner together, and it was like a really nice social thing, especially in summertime. And like I had housemates from the Netherlands and Slovenia and stuff. So
There's
like
something sacred about eating together.
and I think it goes back to like stuff that we've been doing for centuries as humans.
Tribe.
Yeah,
Because I mean, think about like for so long, it was like if you ate together, you couldn't kill each other. Which
oh, is that the reason?
yeah.
Oh.
Like so, like look at all the old Scottish folklore. Like if you break bread,
Yes.
Yeah.
you cannot like that. That's an honour code.
Well, you should not.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like there's loads of
Yeah.
stuff like they have to leave the gates.
Yeah.
Then you can shoot them with arrows and stuff. But like
Yeah.
there's that kind of thing
Not
of
lost
like
bread.
if you are offered hospitality, you're safe in that house.
Yeah.
So it's a
It's like
bonding
the
thing.
code of honour.
This is obviously before things like Come Dine
And
With Me came
Vikings
in.
had that.
And we were scoring them.
Viking version.
Yeah.
But that's
I
why
don't think you got to get that.
I
that's
did not
why
like
they
that
do the
deal.
scoring in the
Yeah,
taxi.
in a taxi. Yeah.
You can't diss it in the house.
I'm waiting for a new Divergent
I
version of
love
Come
Come
Dine.
Dine With
Oh,
Me.
it's marvellous.
We should do that. That'd be amazing.
But it was only at series 2 that people started going around people's houses and it got out the sort of meal bit.
Did you see the episode where she was secretly getting caterers to pass it through the window?
Yes.
Really?
That's what I would do. I'm
And
telling
she
you.
won.
Oh my god.
Yes,
So
she
you
did.
did.
Obviously
No,
she
yeah.
would. What's the one when it's like a really famous meme, like something, I can't remember what it is. It's the guy has a go, he gets really annoyed. Someone won, he has like a massive go at him.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
really passive aggressive, like
I don't think you should have won,
happened.
yeah,
Julie.
Jane
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah. No, I think,
So
yeah.
silly, isn't
But
it?
Also, there's that four in a bed thing as well. That's
Yes.
funny as well.
Yeah.
which
Oh,
is about
David being
hotel
TV.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about films or TV actually.
Well, we could. We've got time.
I love films.
Yeah, I think it's also then a comfort thing of us rewatching films. same
Yeah,
with
the
music, like-
familiarity of like
Yeah.
safe things.
I sort of understand the rewatching of films.
You sort of
I have like
Sort
I
of.
just I watch it down every morning before school for like years.
Yeah, I was the same.
I mean, that's a wonderful experience to have. But I mean, if I've
I
seen
could
something
recite
once,
it. I've seen The Lion King so many times I can also recite that.
oh no,
No,
that
I
would
can't do Lion
that
King.
would turn me
I
off
only
as a
watched
human
it
being.
with one.
We're gonna watch this again. Okay.
But like I rewatched Bones recently.
What's Bones? Oh, a TV
It's a
show.
series, but
I
also
feel like
it's
I've seen
it's based on books, which are
Oh,
also
okay.
very good.
See, then that's also the thing that goes hand in hand. If you're reading the book of the TV show, which I'm currently doing with The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, like I kind of was tempted to then watch it,
Yeah.
but you then 'cause
Sometimes it's not what you envision.
yeah,
I love those, because I read Philip Pullman,
Mm.
and they like before the film came out.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
obviously watched it after I read it, and like that bit at the beginning where they're all running with their daemons. It's like, oh man, beautiful.
there's
That's
like
what I think
also
the world should be like.
What you envision maybe then isn't what's coming on TV or film.
Yeah, which
It
is
very rarely
which is
is.
disappointing when that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
But it is really satisfying. Like I've read the Witcher books and watched The Witcher on
Yeah.
Netflix, and like that releases a dopamine when you then can picture it and you know what's kind of coming, but
Yeah,
how
you can
then it's
kind of
seeing
relate
how
them.
they've put it together on TV and
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me,
you
I
get,
mean, like the
you
Lord
know.
of the Rings when the Lord of the Rings came out. Oh
Yeah.
man,
yeah.
when you
Like,
get to the end of a series, that's a heck of a
Yeah.
doubling.
sad.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, no.
upsetting.
start at the beginning, watch it again.
It's when Netflix tells you 2 to go. Okay,
Yeah.
I really enjoy like every time a new Silent Witness series comes out, and I get
Yeah.
to rewatch all of it, and I know a lot of it by
Yeah.
heart, and it takes months, and I love
Yeah.
it.
Do it at Downton Abbey every other year or so, like every couple of years.
Hasn't seen Downton
I listen
yet.
to Watership Down every year, and also there's a book called Hatchet that my
Yeah.
sister gave me at Christmas when I was quite young,
Yeah.
and I read it every Christmas.
Yeah, see things like that. I think that once again, it's like the ritualistic thing that also releases the dopamine,
Yeah,
which
it makes
probably
me
does
feel like
hark back
safe
to
and
us.
connected because we like
I
read
mean-
it together.
I mean, for some people, the dopamine hit is if you make money. I mean, that's like the very nice sort of, I sit at home and I watch this, and then I have this thing. I mean, so far we've discussed stationery, we've
We've
discussed...
discussed everything else apart from being an entrepreneur.
Exactly. So
I
Sorry,
think that's
guys.
kind of the thing, though. Like, I think being
this is why you should
neurodivergent-
employ neurodivergent people.
And I think
we
being
will get a job
neurodivergent,
done
like quite
eventually.
often, your
Yeah.
dopamine is not the money. The
Because
dopamine,
as well, like-
the dopamine is what you create and what you
Yeah.
do in your entrepreneurship. That is what the dopamine
Because
is.
that's
I mean, that's
money
one
is
way of looking at it,
kind
yeah.
of a side
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're passionate about. That's why you are an expert in your field, and that's why you're an entrepreneur.
Because just being passionate about making money, you wouldn't be passionate about what you do, and then
I
you
think
could
you'd
just
get
do it for
quite
someone
bored.
else and make money.
Well,
Yeah,
it depends
yeah.
on your attitude to money. I mean,
Yeah.
not that I have a drastic attitude to money, but if you look at it from if you make enough to be comfortable, which few people
Yeah.
do,
But
there'll always be something, as you said, that you want to. It's like I don't know, your first pocket money, your first adult money, what you can do with money. If
Yeah.
you are, if you like the trends that come out with that money, you can get that thing. You never, or you could invest.
But then
or
exactly,
you could
it's
do
not about the thing. It's about
the feeling
What
of
it can
getting.
do.
or it's about
for
ticking
you.
something off or like achieving something. Like, yeah, I get it with like saving and investing, and it's like if it makes a certain amount of interest, it's like that's exciting because it's an achievement in a way.
Yeah.
But actually, the money itself is not a passionate thing for me.
I think I got quite, because I never was necessarily good with money, because when you're, I remember having my dad's friend said like, oh, you don't need to worry about savings, you're only in your 20s, or whatever. It's when I was living in London. And I was like,
What
cool,
happened to that
okay,
person?
I don't need to do that then.
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, living in London, you're never going to be able to afford a house.
I could never afford to save.
So, you know,
I
exactly.
was like, yeah, I don't know why.
You're in London, you've made it. It's fine.
No.
That's why there's London waiting, because savings
Yeah.
is impossible. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's then now I've learned to how to make my money work for me in
Yeah.
saving and investing, and actually what all that means in percentages and more. All the stuff that doesn't excite you when you're in maths and school that they don't actually teach you, but it's then finding the dopamine and the things that you don't want to do to then almost trick your brain into doing it. Exercising, okay, well, I'm going to put.
But I think a lot of life for people who are neurodivergent is tricking your mind into doing something.
Yeah.
Because if money was no object, we would be doing everything that we've discussed. We would be hand on
Rewatching
heart.
all the TV.
But I would also, like, if I won the lottery, I would be doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
It
you'd just
wouldn't
be
change
paying
it.
yourself at the end. Yeah.
It wouldn't change what I'm doing.
I'd have a Jaguar XT.
I'd still be,
XT130.
yeah, I'd have a DB9, but I'd still be passionate
DB9?
about all the stuff I'm passionate
Interesting.
about. Yeah, the sound.
Yeah, which you don't get in modern
Not
cars
at all.
because engines are getting smaller, or indeed electrification.
Yeah, and also not combustion engines anymore.
Yes.
It's just
Um,
batteries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in all fairness, like as I said, like if money was no object, we would still be doing the things, the dopamine hits
Yeah.
that we. But it's tricking your mind into actually going to work. It sounds very sort of counterproductive because I want to be part of a team that works, and I want to have
Yeah.
people. But at the same time, I would much rather be staying at home and watching sport.
Yeah, but then I think this is where it kind of can work for you, and you then get to know about yourself more.
Yeah.
Mm.
And like what I've said a few times, like I just lose all interest in the afternoon. Not obviously today.
I
because
love
it is
how
the
honest
afternoon.
you're being.
But-
Like I need
Oh,
a
hang
snooze
on a minute.
and I need.
Oh no,
yeah.
sorry, for a minute I suddenly thought that the business centre had closed.
Half
I
an
looked at my
hour.
watch.
25
I know, but
minutes.
then I panicked.
It's fine.
Welcome
what
to
was I
the
saying?
overnight version of Business Tangent.
We're gonna
The power
stay
is
here
off.
all
Here we go.
Extra
Hang on a
episodes when we were locked in.
I got
yeah.
really confused because it's still daylight and
Anyway.
daylight.
I think
Yeah.
once this is edited, this will be a heck of an episode. We might have to put the business
Gonna
bit at
be
the front.
fun.
Yeah.
But no, if money was no object, I would still be watching sport. And I love all
Yeah.
the people that say if I won the lottery, I'd give it to charity. You just wouldn't.
But you do a little bit to charity.
Yeah.
10%.
No, I think I'd do. I'd go around and give money to actual people. I wouldn't
Yeah.
just donate to the big charities. You'd go to the small places.
Do you know
that
what I
need
used to love?
money, you know.
Undercover Boss.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I still like
if I
Undercover
could,
Boss.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like, if I could do that, I would do that for people.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think every business should have a model like that where somebody completely different goes in and goes, this isn't working,
Yeah.
which is what usually happens. Is
Yeah.
that it's a prime example of people in high management that aren't operational, that don't know what's going on.
Because the
so
people
then
that are
they
doing
dress up.
it
Yeah,
know what you need to be done.
here, here.
Yeah.
So-
It's like when I was at Pfizer, we had the whole thing of like how to be more efficient. And there was a special email address that you could email like suggestions. And it was all stuff like put the pipettes on the same side of the lab as the fume cuds so we don't have to wheel ourselves over there every 10 minutes to get a new one.
It's like things that surely should be obvious though. Like
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Was it not covered in the interview? Like, are you an efficient
like
worker?
when you
But
design
also,
the room.
to just be really chemistry about it.
Yeah.
Like when you make a calibration table and you get all of your solutions right and it comes out beautifully, that's very satisfying.
It sounds very satisfying,
It sounds very satisfying.
but I'm not smart enough for
No,
that.
I get the same amount of thing from a
If it-
decent
But
coffee
also
at this
mass
point.
spectrometry. Oh my
Paintbrushes.
god, I used to love like when I was working in the lab and doing mass spec, and you like try and design an experiment so it will give you the answers, and everything will work, and you try to predict what will happen to each molecule, and then you get it right. I love it.
But that's actually actively searching for the answers.
I think
that's
I
a
think
different
for me,
generational
yeah,
way
I
of
think
looking
for
at
me,
it.
like understanding something is a massive dopamine thing,
Yeah.
but also when
Figuring
you
out.
link different pieces of information together and then they make sense, like
Yeah.
that is
Solving the
mana.
puzzle, which is a lot to do with being an entrepreneur. To be
Yes.
fair.
Exactly,
There's
yeah.
a lot of that
Totally.
puzzle problem
problem
solving.
solving.
If you see the issue and then you come up with a solution and then
Yeah.
you're supported to make the solution a thing.
Problem solving in general is very satisfying.
But it is then, it's also, not to dwell on tax returns, but it's that thing of...
Please let's not dwell on tax returns. Let's
But
not
like
end on
it's-
tax returns.
I can't because it needs to be in tonight.
Yeah, me neither.
it is that thing of, there's a problem that I need to solve, how am I going to make this easier for myself?
Go to bed, have
And
a
then-
snooze.
But then it's that avoidance, and it's
Yes.
tricking your dopamine or giving yourself a Kinder
Because
Bueno
actually,
afterwards or something.
it is really satisfying.
Once it's done, when I did mine, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
if I've put in like an OU assessment with like 10 minutes to spare, some people will go, why not 5? Why not 2.5? Like there is that sort of thing of,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
and
when
that
you
is-
when I remember, like, to be very analog about it, people probably don't get the satisfaction of that anymore.
What, learning?
When you would slide a printed and covered essay under their office door at like 8:59 in the
Moments to
morning.
spare, yes.
What?
yeah.
So
yeah.
satisfying, and you just get it
Yeah.
under the door.
We had
Done.
a submission room we had to go to.
Sounds like a
And
torture act.
I
Sounds
remember
a bit weird,
when
doesn't it,
when you hand in your PhD, you have to go to like the official
Oh, hang
office.
on. You can't
Sorry,
just drop that.
that's
Oh, sorry. We're all, yes.
Don't know what that is.
We haven't done that. When you hand down
Social
your
advance
PhD. Oh,
here.
hello.
So you have your thesis, and you have to print out 3 copies of the thesis,
Yeah.
and you take it to the official admissions office of the university, and you sit in the queue with everyone who's like trying to work out why their quarterly payment hasn't gone through or something.
Yeah.
You're sitting
and
with all the
and
people
you're
that
there
don't
for, like,
know,
a
and you're just
couple-
putting it
Yeah.
underneath.
You're there for like a couple of hours in the queue, and you're like cradling your baby that you've been working on for like 5 years, and then you hand it over and you have to fill in lots of official forms. Very satisfying.
I bet that's
Also-
just an email now or
also-
a PDF
It
or
would
something.
be,
Exactly.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Also,
lots of
going
missions.
to see it in the library.
Oh, I couldn't be
So
bothered.
fancy, isn't it?
Yeah, I would just.
Although-
And actually, the fact that my poetry book is now in a bookshop,
Yeah, that's
very
quite
satisfying.
It's very, we did it for obviously film production. We had a final year film, and we
Mhm.
had premieres for them at the Prince
Oh,
Charles
cool.
Cinema off Leicester Square in London.
Nice. Wow.
That was really, like, I'm going to assume
Satisfying.
that's it.
Mm.
I mean, obviously it was all student films, so, like, they were great, but were they? Like, but being there and seeing your film
Yeah.
that you've made on big screen,
That's
pretty
amazing.
cool. Yeah. I'm imagining...
I can't come up with any anecdote that's close to a doctorate or a student film at this point. I think for me it'll be just to bring it back to entrepreneurs. I think as soon as life is about trying to get other people to understand it from your point of view.
Yeah.
So
I think actually as well on that, like
Yeah.
we had when I was in Photosoc in Liverpool, we had an exhibition in a gallery, and it was amazing. I see your little collection and how you'd
Yeah,
done
yeah.
it, and I had like one that like I don't know if anyone else appreciated it, but I loved it because it was a picture of a tree that was in the grounds of uni, and like the tree was growing horizontally along the ground. So I'd taken the photo, but then I printed it so the tree was straight up and the frame was wonky.
oh no, see, I like that.
Nice.
I hung it
Yeah.
up like that. It was amazing, and I loved it. And I've got photos of it in the gallery, and it was just like, I'm worthy of that. Very cool.
Yeah.
No, I think as soon as somebody within the cell structure makes actual business sense out of the idea that I have, which is a process which we're
Very
going
satisfying.
through. I
Very
think that will
satisfying.
be.
You're going to be so satisfied.
Yeah.
But you
Hopefully.
need baby steps to tick off for the
Yeah.
dopamines.
No,
Or
it's
Kinder Buenos or Kinder Eggs.
it's all or nothing. I think at this point, but I think that's just to bring it sort of roundabout
Yeah.
to a sort of nice entrepreneurial. I think we've given you a vista of an experience of. I mean, I would rather be.
If
know,
you have a business, you can have headed stationery.
and if it all goes wrong, you can just eat.
It's the
That's all you
defining,
Headed stationery.
culminating thing.
Even if you don't have a business, like head your own
Just
stationery.
make stationery.
Who's
Just-
writing the letters though?
Who cares? It's
Just
got your
have
name
it.
on it. You'd send it to
Actually, to
yourself.
be very analog, I think letters are beautiful.
I
It's
do as
nice to
well.
write letters.
I have some very beautiful handwritten letters from World War One and Two,
Nice.
from the front lines and stuff like. Oh,
Yeah, my school.
Sorry, that's a very dark note to end on.
my school used to have one, but they threw it out.
What?
Heartbreak. I know.
You can't do that.
I know.
Well, digitise
I now
everything,
have
get rid
one
of
of the
the
only
old.
copies of it because my mum copied it all out.
I was expecting like a sort of Romeo and Juliet love letters, and you went with World War One on the front.
But also pen pals.
Like,
Like pen pals, people don't have the
Oh,
joy of that
please.
anymore.
There's a
Oh,
movement on TikTok. You can get pen pals.
Writing to each
no,
other.
no,
Yeah,
no,
nice.
no. FaceTime me. FaceTime me. Send me an email. It's just-
Also,
Or
back
Zoom
when,
before.
back when you
Yes.
used to email like it was a letter.
What, dear sir, please find my tax return.
No, not so much that, but like when you would write something and then you would read what they'd said and you would like actually reply in the way that you would in a
A
letter.
letter.
Like just thoroughly and lovingly spending that time on that communication.
Yeah, I mean, I do that now, but it's just a voice note.
It's through an app.
Yeah. Like 2-speed. Quick, hurry up.
Chat GPT.
It's like,
Please summarise it. Make it
layered
nice.
music.
Yeah,
Is anyone
it is.
into the layered music?
I don't know what that is.
So when you have like several different tracks or like a dance track or a bass track with another something else.
Sample.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would work for metal.
Probably.
Metal
Or-
and rock.
Somebody tell you what, the My Little Pony theme tune,
Yeah.
metal. I'll play it in a minute. Like it's
Okay.
amazing.
Well, we'll best round up.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Just otherwise, we're
Rambling
just
on.
going to tangent.
I will leave
Right.
Amelia
Lights are
and
getting
Kat in
dark.
the My Little Pony metal edition, and I
Yeah.
will
Check it
I
out,
will-
guys.
Yeah, please do it. I don't know. But yeah, I think again, I'll say it again. We managed to get an hour out of
A topic.
dopamine and
Surprising.
last week's
I
episode.
love how
Yeah.
we continue to be surprised that we can actually.
speak.
Oh, I'm ridiculously
Podcasts are
surprised.
possible.
I mean, if I was less stressed, I would get a dopamine hit. But we actually got 2 hours where we've been in a glass box talking. I mean, this is
We've done well. And
This
we've
is
had a lot of
something.
time eating sweets
Cake.
and cake.
yes. So I don't know what next week's will be.
Neither do we.
But
But
it
it'll
will
be
be a
good,
thing. It
Yeah.
will be a thing. And thank you so much for listening to all of these. I think this one might be the most random one we've done, but there is something endearing
Possibly.
about it. So from
Do
myself,
send in voice notes, comments.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like,
Net-
subscribe,
Network
all of
on
that.
Facebook as well.
Yeah,
On
join,
nice-headed
join
paper.
our group on the Facebooks.
here. So from all of us, from Michael,
From Kat.
And Amelia.
we'll see you soon. Thank you
Do
so
come on
much.
a walk. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the We Speak Tangent podcast, brought to you by the Neurodivergent Entrepreneurs Network in partnership with the South of Scotland Enterprise.